Okay, it's 7 o'clock. We'll start our meeting. Kevin, if you could do roll call, please.
Ms. Gerber.
Here.
Mr. Pollack.
Here.
Mr. Campbell.
Here.
Mr. Thacker.
Here.
Ms. Elliott.
Here.
5 present, 1 vacancy.
If you could stand. Pledge, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. Tonight's kind of a special meeting. Tonight is the meeting where we will announce the Citizen of the Year. It's a very big honor here, and we're very humbled to be able to give that award. With that, I'm going to turn it over to our new Recreation Commission Chairman, Renee Gerber.
All right. Going to try to say it without naming this person, so good luck to me. Dear Recreation Commission members, as most of us know, this person has served Amelia Village in a volunteer capacity since 2007. She began her career as an Amelia Village volunteer in March 2007 when she was appointed to the Recreation Commission. In January 2008, she took over as chairperson and continued to serve through May of 2010 when an illness in her family required her full attention. During her tenure as Recreation Chair, she full-heartedly involved herself in such annual events as the Easter egg hunt, Frisbee golf tournament, cornhole tournament, concert in the park, Amelia Day at the Reds, and Skate Fest and National Night Out. Y'all need to keep it down back there. She was involved in the creation of the skate park, Amelia Paul Park, Memorial Tree Program, and Movie Night. She was instrumental in improvements of the Frisbee golf course, the purchase of trees for the walking trail at Shank Park, and the installation of exercise equipment at Shank Park. In an effort to address vandalism, she headed the distribution of letters to village residents asking for their participation in preventing crime in the parks. The naming of Sedona Ridge Pond, along with repairs and new amenities, also happened on her watch. At Christmas time, she was active in the coordination of the Visit with Santa event for village children and the Sensitive Santa event for autistic and special needs children and their siblings. In 2008-2009, during the attempt to dissolve the village, she served as treasurer of Save the Village effort, working countless hours, picketing, soliciting, and meeting to bring attention to the effort and get residents involved. During that time, she stepped up to the plate as the Christmas parade became jeopardized. She and others were pivotal in doing what was necessary to keep that tradition alive. Currently, she serves as chairperson and board of the Board of Zoning Appeals. She has also expressed interest in being appointed to Village Council. As a hard worker and community advocate who has provided tremendous support to the village, she has never asked for recognition or compensation for her efforts. Because she has been active in making many good things happen in the Amelia Village, I nominate Michelle Balside, an unsung hero, as Amelia Village Citizen of the Year 2011. Sincerely, Leroy K. Ellington.
Right here. You're very welcome.
They got a quiet voice back there.
That is great.
Oh, my kids have liked me too. That's a liar.
If I could, I'm going to read this proclamation. Whereas on December 20th, 1900, the first municipal government was formed for Amelia Village, and in subsequent years, Village Council has been continually supportive of ways to inspire community pride in others. Council believes that these characteristics should be encouraged in each person, and that such recognition would go far in inspiring others in the community. Therefore, in 1988, Mayor Robert W. Grove proposed to Village Council that in December of each year, in an effort to commemorate the anniversary of our founding as a community, Village Council bestow a Civic Pride Award. This award shall be presented annually in the form of a Citizen of the Year plaque to a person selected by the full body of council from nominees having the prescribed credentials and recommended by the Amelia Recreation Commission. This award is bestowed upon someone who has given abundantly of her time to a worthwhile community causes, continuously participated in community projects, conducted her life in such a way as to foster in the citizens of Amelia a sense of community pride. Therefore, for her steadfast and reliable participation in and management of community events, for her involvement in creating and improving recreation facilities for the community, for her enthusiastic commitment to contribute and assist wherever she is needed, and for working countless hours as a crusader to save the village when it needed saving, and for her genuine compassion for the children and puppies of Amelia Village. I, Todd Harp, as mayor of Amelia Village, do hereby proclaim Michelle Ballside Citizen of the Year 2011. On that, we also have a plaque. It says, Citizen of the Year 2011, in appreciation for your hard work, steadfast support, and on behalf of the residents and puppies of Amelia Village, presented to Michelle Ballside by Mayor Todd Hart. Thank you. If we could take a 10-minute recess, all in
Do you want
favor?
to make a nomination? Do we need to actually do
I'll
it?
nominate.
Yeah, we haven't voted yet.
We haven't actually. I'd like to make
We may take it back.
You want to take it back? Oh my
I'd
gosh.
like to make a motion that we nominate Michelle Ballside as Volunteer of the Year.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
We're going to bring the meeting back to order at 7:22.
Sure.
You ready? All right. Next order of business is discussion of the rules of council. What we'll do is, I figure we can go around the room. If anybody has anything they'd like to see changed, we'll bring up some changes. If you have them now, we can put that down. If you don't, we can do that again in another meeting. So we'll start with you, Renee.
Oh,
Do you have
thanks.
anything you'd like to see?
Did we go, did you get a chance to meet about the quorum rules?
Yes, it's
Okay.
all in there.
It's in there now?
Well, it was in there before. We just left the middle part out, but it's in there. What did you need to know on that? How many does it take?
No,
to
it
vote
wasn't
the committee?
specific enough, remember? It just says that we can attend a meeting, but it does not say if we can still, I wanted the clarification if we can participate in that meeting.
You can participate as a resident in that meeting. Absolutely. That's in the rules. It's in Robert's Rules of Action. So you can participate as a citizen if a meeting is going on with two council people that, if we have our committees that have a quorum, yes, you're able to do that.
Okay, what if we're all here? It still applies?
Yeah, it's not atypical for a council to have committees made up of more than.
No.
You're
I
talking
know.
about somebody else coming in.
Yeah, I'm talking about, we're planning something for Recreation Commission and we all are there.
Right. That's okay.
As long as
it's
we're
notified
discussing only
what
Recreation Commission
correct as long
stuff.
right.
Right.
Okay,
As long as it's what the meeting was notified for.
okay,
Okay. All right.
awesome. Good. Do I, one more? No. The only other thing, and I'd sent you an email, is I'm happy with the new committees and such. I think that we need to change a little bit of that wording in there. If you read where it says the cemetery committee, I'm going off
Right.
because I forgot my stuff. That we're in sales and advertising. I think that's going a little above and beyond
Right.
what we're designed to do. I like the idea of having the committee, and Bob had made an interest in doing that for the sole purpose if anybody were to come in, we could address that, send them that way. But, and the streets and stuff, I'm not qualified. You may be more qualified than anybody to do that. But I think I like the idea. I just think that the wording needs to be changed just a little bit.
Right. These committees, it's kind of a general idea just to get us started.
Right.
And when the committees meet, they can sit down and then fine tune those to what they think they should.
I just don't want
to.
to, right. I mean, I just don't want, because it's written down,
Right.
somebody to say, well,
This is just a general
Okay.
guideline to get us started. And then once we get started, you'll figure out,
Yeah.
more of what your committee should be and shouldn't
yeah.
be doing.
Because, the sales, I mean,
Right.
I think if we publicize on the website.
We have 10% sales on Sunday.
Is that right? See?
So I think that's where we're going with that. But yeah,
Okay.
we can fine tune.
Okay.
Okay. Councilman Collins. you have
Yes,
something.
I have something to bring up.
Okay.
It's rather strange, but considering the source, you take your oath to be a council person, and that means that you are obligated to go to all the regular council meetings, and if you're appointed to a committee, you are assuming that you will be at that committee or that committee meetings or whatever, but there's no teeth in it. Other than the fact that you miss 2 months meetings, then you're out of council. But if you just miss a meeting or a meeting and a committee meeting, then nothing happens. I think we should do, just because if you miss a meeting without a legitimate excuse, that means a note from your mother or from the doctor or from your preacher, then your pay is deducted based on that 1 month. In other words, you get so many dollars for 2 meetings. If you don't show up for one, no excuse, that's deducted out of your pay.
Are we talking council meetings or committee meetings?
The combined.
Okay.
Combined. And I think that's fair. I think unless you got a legitimate excuse. If you break your leg, well, too bad. But I mean, no, it's not.
Make a
But
note of that.
I think that should be entertained at the discussion of fine tuning these things.
Okay.
That's all I got for that one. I'll have to stop and think about it. That was my
Okay, Mr.
primary
Ray.
thing, and it took all my energy.
Pretty much, that kind of covered 2 concerns I had. I'd like to get things spelled out,
Okay.
like Renee was talking about, and I agree with Bob.
Councilman Thacker.
I don't think I really have much.
Okay. Councilwoman Elliott.
I'm good.
All right. Those are 2 things that I'll look into before I bring the next ordinance up. See if we can do the monetary, if that's
It's all necessary
acceptable with everybody.
to investigate it.
To investigate, see what we can do on that, and then before we actually do the revision, I'll
Oh,
let
yeah.
everybody see it
Oh, yeah.
and know, so we can move forward with that.
Speaking on the committees,
Yes.
can we put in, because I know none of, or I don't know if any of them, I know Rick, but when the actual bylaws, guidelines, whatever the rules of that committee are, we should have a date as to when those should be submitted to you, because they've gone on the wayside for some of the committees as to what the actual, guidelines are for that.
Right, usually
That would be
on
probably-
committees, yeah, we'll probably either take it out of Robert's Rules of Order, or there's a handbook, for officers handbook, that
Yeah.
David Ghost pulls out. We'll take it out of that to make sure.
Yeah, I think, when the committees start the meeting, that should be the very first thing that we should, each committee
Learning
should
the
do.
rules.
Yeah, is get those set and turned in, so there's no,
And hopefully, when we get the new council members seated, then I can find out what everybody feels they'd be comfortable on what committee, and then we can go from there. That way we can get these committees up and running. We haven't had them in years, so it's going to take a little bit of time. But we had them in the past, and there's a lot of other places that use them, and they bring really good information back to council and lets them do all the legwork, and then it eases some of the load on other people. So I will get all that back to you. Anything else on rules of council?
Not right off the top of my head, but getting back to committees and things, prior to having committees, as such as we're discussing, all you had was people come to council, then they go home. They don't see one another until they come to council.
Right.
With committees, you get to maybe know the people a little more off of council and at your committee meetings or things of that nature. I think it's an advantage to do that. Besides just having a committee period, I think it's going to create a more friendly gathering among the troops, so to speak.
I agree.
Thank you very much.
So that's all we've got on rules of council. Next order of business will be recommendation with motion of the new council member. With that, I will turn it over to the chairman of that committee.
I, being the chairman of that committee. Along with my committee is Chuck Thacker, the fellow sitting over there, and Derek Campbell, the fellow sitting over there. We met on a Monday. What Monday was that? 12th?
The ninth?
No,
Ninth.
8th. 9th?
Ninth.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong calendar. Who I have? Okay, 9th, that's it. We've met our first meeting on the 9th, and we had 4 applicants submit their request, and we took 2 on the 9th, we took 2 on the 10th, the 11th, we laid off, and each one took our notes home, and on the 12th, we came back with our notes and our little idea of who, what, and when, and we discussed that back and forth without mentioning any names, the good parts, bad parts, and so on. Then we sort of did a trial run vote verbally, and it turned out we had all come settle down on the one person, which was unanimous, and then we took a vote, and that's in the minutes, and we voted for, hold your breath, everybody, Chris Dickerson.
So would you like to put that in a recommendation with a...
I recommend that we put Chris Dickerson up for vote by council,
You'd like to make
and
that
I can
motion?
make that motion. Yes, I would. And it was a unanimous decision with we three.
Is there a second on that motion?
I'll second it.
Discussion. Hearing no discussion, roll call vote.
Ms. Gerber,
No.
Mr. Paula,
Yay?
Mr. Campbell,
Yay.
Mr. Thacker,
Yay.
Ms. Elliott,
Yay.
4 to 1.
Motion carries.
Yes.
Now, if I could say something there.
Yes,
I
you may.
definitely, if you're out there and you applied, we had some really good people apply, and we definitely want them to show some interest in the committees that we're now forming. So if you can maybe send in another letter if you're interested in the committees, because we'd be happy to have you on board for those. So that's what I have to say.
Well, thank you.
Very good.
At this time, I guess, Julia, would you like to swear in the new council member?
I can do that.
I guess I should ask, is Mr. Dickerson stand, please? Would you take this appointment to council?
I will.
Would you please come forward?
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. You ready? Just go ahead and repeat after me. I, Chris Dickerson,
I, Chris Dickerson,
as a qualified elector
as a qualified elector
residing within Amelia Village,
residing within Amelia Village,
Ohio,
Ohio,
do hereby accept,
do hereby accept,
without reservation,
without reservation,
the responsibilities
the responsibilities
of the office
of the office
of village council member
of village council member
in and for said village, in and for said village
in and for said village
for a 2-year term
for a 2-year term
expiring
expiring
December 31st,
December 31st,
2014.
2014.
In so accepting,
In so accepting,
I solemnly swear
I solemnly swear
and affirm
and affirm
to support the Constitution
to support the Constitution
of the United States of America,
of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the ordinances of Amelia Village, Ohio,
and the ordinances of Amelia Village of Ohio,
and will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
and faithfully, honestly, and impartially
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
of Village Council Member,
of Village Council Member,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Sit right there. I didn't want to get away. Yeah.
Does he have a
We didn't want to put any pressure on the council member tonight, so we didn't give him any crack.
You don't even have a calendar.
Congratulations. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Your
I
charity
really
working
feel
on.
we've got a good team moving forward, and I look forward to working with everybody. Moving along, we need to schedule a special meeting for next week. Our contract is coming up with Baldwin, and the chief has a meeting with the representatives from the state of Ohio tomorrow. They also have a program. It's a police-ran program. So either we go with Baldwin, or if we choose them, we still need to schedule a meeting next week because we need to have one or the other contract done by the 30th. So it's coming to an end.
What was this for? I'm sorry, I was telling him what to do.
It's got to do with the Baldwin. It's a program the police use,
Oh, okay.
and Linda uses,
Gotcha.
and the police chief uses.
Gotcha.
And he'll be able to tell you more at the meeting next week, preferably Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, whatever works for council, one of those 3 days.
Monday, it's gonna be Monday or
It'll be a
Tuesday.
short meeting. Monday?
Do you need me here?
I don't think so. I think it'll just be about that. The two contracts. Chief will be here to explain both of them and which one they feel is most comfortable.
Okay.
Monday at what?
7 o'clock. Monday, 7 o'clock.
Monday the 21st.
Yes. All right. We have 2 sets of meeting minutes we need to approve. We've got December 19th and January 3rd. Have you all had a chance to look through those?
Yes.
If there's no objection, we will adopt a motion to approve. All in favor of the December 19th meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Aye.
Oh.
Just say aye, Bob.
Aye. Aye, Bob.
Some new things I learned. These are new things I learned.
Okay.
Throw y'all for a loop. I've been studying.
Okay.
All those opposed?
Let me I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. Move on.
If there's no objection, we will adopt a motion to approve the minutes from January 3rd.
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Those are both passed. Approval of the bills. Everybody got a set of the bills?
Oh, yeah. Almost can't not do that.
Do I have any questions on the bills? This time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the bills.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
Second.
Motion's made second. Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Mr. Dickerson. Yay. Ms. Gerber.
Yay.
Mr. Fuller.
Yay.
Mr. Campbell.
Yay.
Mr. Thacker.
Yay.
Ms. Elliott.
Yay.
Motion passes. Police chief, it's time for your report, sir.
Mayor, council,
Chief?
how have a lot of things going on. We got through the holiday season with minimal amount of overtime. That's good, always a good thing. And we're really happy about that. If you take out your little packet that I sent you, I'm just going to kind of read over that and highlight some areas. First of all, I attended the Amelia Business Association meeting, and their fundraiser this year, they're going to have a golf scramble. More on that later. It's going to be like May 18th. This fundraiser is for scholarships and for the Mercy to provide them with the food and money for food and things like that for handouts to people and all that stuff. But I'll have more on that later. The Chiefs Association meeting, I have nothing to report on that. The noticeable events that we've had several. We had a stolen vehicle on Grouse Drive up there. It was stolen because it was an opportunity for somebody to come along and because the keys were already in the vehicle. The bad thing about it, that vehicle was used in a robbery, a couple robberies, one attempted and one not. One in Fort Thomas, Kentucky, and one in Pierce Township, and the guy was subsequently arrested. The car returned to its owner. And then there was a stolen vehicle also on Partridge Drive, also the keys left in the vehicle. I guess the more of this story would be do not leave your keys in the vehicle. And, it doesn't seem like the season has anything to do with it, whether it be cold weather or warm weather. We always have to just assume that somebody's going to come along and look inside and steal whatever's in there. So just be aware of that. We served a number of Amelia, the Mayor's Court bench warrants, and this is very time consuming. Every time we discover somebody out there and has a warrant for them, or anybody else in any other local jurisdiction, it's our duty to go and get those people and deal with them and recite them back in the Mayor's Court, in which they're charged appropriately. So we always have to deal with that. We've got drawers full of bench warrants back there. And it's because that the Clermont County, it's packed full of people too, the jail, and they don't have any room for those guys. So the next, and number 3, if you read along, the assault on a married police officer, that is not 2 assaults, that's just 1. And this is a time we assisted the Clermont County Sheriff's Department in apprehending this guy that cut off his ankle bracelet. I think they wanted him for a second domestic violence. He was a probation violation, and he sort of didn't want to go. So during this course of an arrest, he tried to headbutt one of our police officers, just barely got him, but it was enough for additional charges on that guy. And he was taken to the Clermont County Jail by the SO with charges from us as well. Walgreens, we've had a guy that attempted not just 1 or 2 times to do a script, but he was back there trying to 3 times that night trying to produce a forged prescription to the Walgreens to get medication. First he went and they delivered it was in his sister's name, and I think he made him try to think he was his sister. But it turned out to be a male because he had a deep voice, and that didn't work. But it came to find out in the investigation that it was his twins. It was his twin. The sister was his twin. So anyway, after a couple times, the pharmacist or the Walgreens notified us, and we had an officer waiting the 3rd time, which happened to catch him. So we have charges, and he's currently going to grand jury on those. Unfortunately, we had another heroin overdose to a 25-year-old male, and they found him sometime later, so he had no chance of recovery on that. We had a robbery of medication at CVS last week, and it came to find out during investigation that this was more than just a robbery. This is a thing where both of them, the person who got the drugs and the person that stole the drugs, probably will both be in trouble for that. So we have charges pending on both of those guys. There was a road rage accident for aggravated menacing and possession of drugs and paraphernalia. There was a road rage accident involving a car and a motorcycle The driver of the car thought the motorcycle was bothering him, and the motorcycle thought the car was bothering him, while the guy with the car held up looked like to be a Glock 40, but it was a pellet gun, but they were identical. So the guy got in trouble in the car for stop. The investigating officers were good in their investigation where they found this car. He had some large print, I think, on the back of his car, which made him a little bit more identifiable, which you shouldn't probably do that when you have that on your car. But he was found also be in possession of paraphernalia and drugs as well, so he got popped for that one too. Administratively, we're on the ball, we're cooking there. We've got 4 officers that are currently enrolled in schools and training in March and April, and all those schools are free. We've got 4 of them going. So, and as time goes on, we'll get everybody in there and on the right road for that. We made few changes on the way we do things, policy-wise, procedure-wise. One of them was private property accident form, where the guys can now draw which is actually a property. Some communities do take private property accidents, some don't. We still do. It's a service we provide, and they can actually draw the vehicles on the narrative and put the narrative down in there on a single sheet of paper. I believe always simple as easiest, and the guys are adjusting that as well. We also have a new or a changed or revised officer complaint against officer or police personnel. This form was revised from a single page of a written statement against an officer to a more recognized grievance. So it also backs up with the truthfulness of the person alleging the complaint, with a possible chance that they may be taking a voice stress test or a polygraph test. So they just don't come in and complain about it. So there's a little bit more to it than just filling out a statement, here you go, this is what your officers did. So, and then it has on there a place for the officer for the findings, if they're exonerated, sustained, or what we did about that. The original complaint may not even be the complaint that they want to say. So the personnel may be found misconduct in other areas, like discourtesy or something like that. So there's a place on there for that. Then we changed our property evidence control policy from a little over 3 pages, and now the policy reads that it's 22 pages long. And this is in guidelines with CALEA, and I put down in your packets what exactly CALEA is, Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies. They're the standard that most agencies follow. Their guidelines. Not all police departments are accredited in Ohio, but they do. A lot of them do follow CALEA guidelines, and I think we have a lot better situation there. And their sole responsibility, the goals are to strengthen crime prevention and control capabilities and procedures, and so it makes it establish a more fair and non-discriminatory personnel practices there. And we have a new roll call policy. A roll call policy is just simply a notebook that the officers fill out at the end of the shift and tells them what's going on. Before that, we had log sheets, and the log sheets were like 2 pages, and they were real long. And some officers looked at those, some officers didn't. But now each officer is responsible for making up his own roll call policy, so they're more apt to look at the others. Plus, they can look at that little notebook there and find out what's going on in your days off, or if they come back from vacation. And it's worked out really well on that. Public safety-wise, you have your calls of service, December 2010 as compared to 2011, and those are down there for your review. We also broke it down per month, between the 2010 and 2011 statistical report, and you can go over those at your review. And keep in mind that in 2011 we're short 2 officers. So when you look at this and compare different things, and police officers tend to do what they like the best. Some of them like to do business checks. Some of them, all of them do business checks, but some of them really like to do those, and some of them really like to do traffic stops. So a police department is a well-rounded, where a lot of officers like to do a lot of different things. And when you look at that comparatively in physical checks, You look at 2010, for instance, halfway down, in 2011, we may be almost 900 short there from those 2 years. But it may be because the person who did 800 of some of those checks was not there, working at that time. So that difference right there could make a monumental when you really look at these. Over the last year, we had 4,400 calls. Union Township reported us, and probably about 500, estimated 500 of that is we were, or above that, actually, we were providing service to other communities in the form of mutual aid. So you got a lot of officers hopping out there. Also put in a sheet where it's a computerized information sheet of exactly kind of what calls we go on there. And that kind of tells you that, and there's 1, 2 every day. And keep in mind that when these officers take these reports, they just don't go and take the reports and 5 or 10 minutes later they're finished. They've got 2 or 3 hours of paperwork too. So keep in mind that when you look at all these statistics and things like that. And that finishes my report. It's kind of year-end report of 2011 as well. But we're on the road, and I think everything's looking up, and the officers are feeling good. So is there any questions or comments you might have?
Sounds good to me.
Thanks, Chief. Fire Chief, what do you got for us, sir? I'm sure they get out of it, didn't
Not a lot to report. In the month of December, there was 8 fire calls to the village. We had no dollar loss in the village. That's a good thing. And had 44 calls for EMS service. You did not get a hard copy yet. You'll have a hard copy tomorrow. And we're in the process, township-wide, of doing our annual report for 2011. I should see that by early February. Other than that, I'm all set. Questions, comments? Thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve.
Any public input? Any council input?
I got one.
Why do you all look at me?
I'm just used to being over here. Kind of natural.
No, I just, good thing tonight. I just want to wish my daughter Cora a happy 11th birthday coming up. So
Happy birthday, Cora.
11 years old.
Yeah.
When was that?
11 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Don't forget, we have a special meeting on the 23rd at 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And then our next council meeting, scheduled council meeting, will be Monday, February 6th, 2012 at 7 p.m.
Damn.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for coming.